Yo, what's good, Meatheads? Hope you're having an amazing day, and welcome to another episode of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. It's your boy, the returning champion, IFBB Pro, Matt Battalion. Today, we're going to be talking about the number one muscle building hack. And guys, this is not going to be conventional. It's not going to be something that you can assume is going to be the end of the sort of the topic, right? So you're probably going to think of like, protein stuff like supplements, steroids, whatever it is, this muscle building hack. Maybe it's a certain type of workout, but it's not. Has everything to do with your mindset. And today I'll be sharing that with you and giving you a little bit more of my perspective so you guys can understand the true muscle building hack, what enabled me to get to where I got, what enables my clients to get to where they go when they are in their journey. All right. So if that's something that you want to listen to and, pay attention to learn about and maybe implement in your own fitness journey, then this is the episode for you. And if not, then we have over 200 other episodes that you can definitely tune into to take advantage of, because we talk about nutrition and a whole bunch of other stuff there as well. Okay, so guys, again, if you do get value from this podcast or anything that I do, don't hesitate to like, share, and comment on this podcast. Leave a review, show your support. It really does go a long way. Guys, I wouldn't be able to do this without you, and I appreciate you. Let's get into this, guys. So number one muscle building hack. Okay, it's no secret that I've built this physique without steroids. Okay, it's no secret. I literally plastered that shit everywhere. It's probably a little bit annoying. You probably think I'm a little bit of like a vegan narc, but it is what it is. Apparently, most people don't like to believe that through consistency, hard work, and time, you can get something that at once you sort of like felt was kind of, impossible, right? And I don't blame you. Like, it kind of does sound cheesy, be consistent, work hard, put in the time, and you'll have what you want too. Like, I'm fucking laughing because I've been you. Like, I've definitely heard those things that I just said and been like, okay, get the fuck out of here, because I've been consistent, I've been working hard, and I've put time into it, but I haven't got to where I want to get to. So I understand where you're coming from. But to sort of quell that and to sort of like neutralize what you're thinking, even though I said that in the past, I didn't put enough time and enough effort or anything like that into the game at the time. I just thought I did because it hurt, working so fucking hard to not get to that point. But anyway, most people don't believe or don't like to believe that consistency, hard work, and time, isn't the main reason that I got these massive gains over the years. They often attribute it to just, taking shortcuts, taking steroids. And I get it. There are tons of IG influencers that claim they're natural, tons of them. Okay. And like, I get it. Like, they're secretly taking SARMs, steroids, or even some non-steroidal PEDs behind the scenes, and they're making you like, they're basically playing you guys for fools. And you're not crazy for being skeptical or for looking at them and going like, fuck, like, this person just telling me to be consistent and work hard, and whatever it is, but they're just taking gear and like training. Like, I get where you're coming from. And in fact, I encourage you guys listening, whenever you guys see something online that just looks absolutely crazy, like just impossibly good, I encourage you guys to be at least a little bit skeptical and take this shit with a grain of salt, because not everything is the way that it seems online. Okay, there are still people in your gym that take steroids and don't even look good, or like they take steroids and they're relatively fucking weak for their size. And it's true, guys. It's very true. All right. So both ends of the spectrum exist. So I understand where you're coming from with this doubt of like consistency, hard work, and all that. Usually when you hear that, it's almost like a red flag, because so many people are taking steroids nowadays, girls and guys, and they don't even look the part. Okay. But that's besides the point. However, there are guys like me, guys that are actually natural, girls that are actually natural. And regardless, the first thing they think is steroids, because when someone looks good, when something looks good, it's just more often than not too good to be true. As much as I hate to admit it, that's just what it's like most of the time. Okay, and some of these people that um, knew me in high school or through odd jobs back when I was younger, they saw how skinny and frail I was, and they compared that version of me to like where I am today, a natural IFB pro. And the only reason why they, or you probably listening to this, watching this, wherever you're tuned in, find this impossible to believe, you know, is because you can't obtain your own goal doing the same thing. or at least because you think that you're doing the same thing and you're not achieving the same goal. Similar to what I was talking about earlier about I thought that I was like putting in the effort, that I put in enough energy, enough consistency, enough time. I thought that I truly did. Like it was difficult for me to work as hard as I did at the time at the very beginning. But the truth was I fucking didn't. Like I was working hard, but sure I was working hard, but I wasn't as consistent. Okay, fuck, maybe I picked up my consistency and I'm working hard, but I haven't put enough time. And like, what's enough time? Well, that's relative to everybody. It's just subjective for everybody. Everyone's going to need a certain amount of time to get to where they need to go. Okay. And if you haven't done any of these things and you know it, then you have no right discrediting others or even yourself from believing that it's possible or not possible, sorry, to achieve the goal that you want to achieve with your fitness. You want to burn 30 pounds, build 10, 15 pounds of muscle. Like, you don't have the right to discredit yourself because you haven't even put the fucking work in. And the reason why you don't see yourself succeeding with this number one muscle building hack, which is related to your mindset, and I'm going to talk about it right now, literally, is because you have never actually worked like a fucking dog for anything. Like, if you're one of those people that, and maybe you were lucky, you didn't have to study and you went to school and then you did your tests and you got A's. Boom. It's amazing you got A's. It's amazing you're able to succeed without putting enough effort. But because you don't know how to put an effort, you're never going to get anywhere else outside of the place that's going to reward you for doing the bare minimum. Okay? The same thing goes for work. You work the same amount of hours. Okay? Maybe, you get paid a little bit more than the rest of the people around you for the role that you're doing. Okay? And they're applauding you and you're feeling, oh, okay, like, yeah, this is amazing. I'm getting to where I want to be a little bit faster without having to put in extra effort. Like, you can be blessed. You can be like, even if you have great genetics and you go to the gym and you don't train as hard, but your body responds very well. It's like you can get to a certain point with a minimal effort, but once you understand that the more effort you put in, the more you're going to get out regardless. Again, there's a ceiling for it. Like, there are rest days. Of course, you don't want to study 24 hours straight because then there's diminishing return, or working overtime to a point where like you have no life, right? Like, work like a dog. If you work harder, if you are lucky enough to work as hard as you're working right now and you're still just getting results in whatever it is in your life, imagine how it would be if you worked harder. Like, I'm talking about working like a dog. You never worked like a dog for anything. Let's be fucking honest. Most of you guys are silver spoon fed. Okay, most of you guys have never seen poverty. Most of you guys have never seen fucking pain and lived through it. Most of you guys, and again, it's amazing. God bless you and God bless your family for the situation that you've been in, but you've never had to fucking bleed and sacrifice for shit because you've had it handed to you. And that's not something to be embarrassed about. No, but it's something to realize, because once you do realize it, you'll understand that you actually have a benefit. You have an advantage. And then when you capitalize on that advantage, believe me, you'll go further than anyone has gone. There was a saying, I think Phil Heath said it. It's I don't know if it was Phil Heath who said it, but he says, you should fear the man who has a harder work ethic or greater work ethic than the man that's talented. Because you can be talented at whatever it is. You can be gifted. You can be put in the best situation, the best scenario. Okay, and have all this talent and the genetics and the smarts and the resources that were given to you hand down, from your parents, from your whatever the fuck it is. And if you have all that stuff and you just sit there and you're like, I'm just going to coast along, the guy, that wolf at the bottom of the hill, at the bottom of the mountain, you should fear, man. The guy with the work ethic is the one who's going to eat you. Doesn't matter how you can start at the top of the castle and that person can start underneath hell. But because of that work ethic, once that person even gets up to you and passes you, they're not fucking stopping. So no matter how hard you work, you'll have to work 10 times as hard for 10 times as long to pass the person with work ethic. Does that make sense? Because work ethic, it always matters more than your talent. When you understand this number one muscle building hack, nothing will derail you mentally from understanding and putting into action the plan of never fucking quitting, of being consistent, of actually putting in hard work, like actually sacrificing and not looking at the clock for the time, but looking at the calendar for the time. You want to count this shit by months. You want to count this shit by years, not minutes and hours. You don't want to put in the extra rep, the extra 2 reps. You want to go until you can't anymore. You want to work as hard as you've ever worked. You want to be able to sacrifice more than you've ever sacrificed. And that's the only way you can truly get not just to where you want to go, not just to keep the results that you get when you get there, but to fucking have it for the rest of your life and to surpass it, to be impossibly good at anything. You have to do that. And that includes building muscle, because building muscle ain't easy. Take it from me. Okay, like you've never experienced a high level of determination or self-belief. Like I'm talking real self-belief, like so fucking crazy that you feel afraid that you believe it. Like do you ever, you know, and this is, if you can relate to this, then this is probably why this is the episode for you. But like, do you ever believe that you're better than the rest? Because when I was working to get my pro card, I fucking personally did. And what happened was on that night, I was better than the rest, which is why I got the pro card. And I'm talking about like that level of self-delusional belief, like where it's just crazy to understand that you even believe that. Like you feel afraid, you feel disgusting almost for believing it. But you act upon those beliefs, and those actions reflect those beliefs, and then you become the fucking proof. Whether it's in your body, whether it's in your bank account, whether it's in your mindset, whether it's in your relationship, you become the proof of that delusional self-belief. Like you've never been obsessed with achieving a goal. Like I'm talking about, it's on your mind 25 fucking 8. You can't eat, sleep, shit without it on your mind. Like a literal fiend for your fucking success. Like nothing or nobody gets in the way of your path. Like you've never been that obsessed. You've never been feverishly consistent about a fucking goal. Like I'm talking about when it rains, when it snows, when you're fucking sick, it doesn't matter, etc. Like unless you're dead or in the fucking hospital, you're on your fucking goal. You are not missing. Do you understand? Like you've never been there. Like you haven't even put in the time, sacrifice, and consistency. So how the hell are you going to, how dare you even discredit yourself and say that it's not possible if you haven't even done the bare minimum, which is to do the fucking maximum as much as you can, no matter what. Rain, snow, or shine. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Like, do you understand? Like, so because you haven't put in the bare minimum to get to where you want to go, because again, you think it's going to be a walk in the park, which might I remind you, it's fucking not. Okay, because that's your reality. It only makes sense that you'd never believe in the power of hustle because you don't even put in the work. Right? And if you don't put in the work, how the fuck are you going to get the rewards that the potential, that your inner potential, your talent, your whatever blessings and gifts, the position that you started in, how can you tap into the potential that has to deliver on you? Like, guys, it took me over a fucking decade. Time, man. Sure, I was consistent. Sure, I worked hard, and I continue to work hard. Like, honestly, I wasn't born in the richest family. I wasn't born with, like, my parents couldn't really do much for me after a certain age, just being a little bit vulnerable here, like, especially after the divorce and all that stuff. Like, you guys listening to this might be able to relate. You have, like, most of the shit's on your back, like from the age of 14, 15, 16, being like, I had to help support my parents, or my father, at least. He's a single father, right? And like, that gave me work ethic. As hard as that was, I wouldn't change shit because it taught me how to fucking get up and do shit. Regardless of how I felt, because bills needed to be paid. Things needed to happen. The wheel needed to spin. All right? Like, that effort became something that I think became also a transferable skill that when I went to the gym, I was able to sort of mirror and repeat. And so, like, I would wake up early for work, and I'm talking about I'm still in high school. Like, I'm just starting high school, guys. First, second year of high school. And then I'd had this effort that would translate into the gym, and I'd work really fucking hard there. Either go there to the gym after my shift or before my shift, regardless, even if it was a night shift, and I would just continue to push with my consistency. The second thing I would do is also make sure that I'm putting in a real fucking effort. Like, it's very easy to show up and then just like sandbag it because I'm tired. I just came from work. Like, I still gave it my all. Mondays and Thursdays religiously, I would puke. That's why if you guys follow me on Instagram, TikTok, or wherever, social media, I call it puke day in honor of actually training until I fucking vomit. And I understand that not everybody listening to this is going to have that same level of intensity or even needs to. like you don't want to become a pro bodybuilder, I get it. But if you really want to see muscle, it doesn't matter that you're just showing up, because sometimes that's just not enough. The guy that has more talent can just show up and just honestly do the same half-ass effort as you, but get way more out of it because they're just talented and gifted and have better genetics. But if you show up no matter what and you work hard as fuck, I'm talking about like you work harder than a dog, and you have consistency, and you're willing to do it without looking at the clock, you don't pay attention to time, forgive me God, you will get those results. And when they do come in, they'll be more than you've ever been able to anticipate. And I speak with fucking experience. Okay, it took me over a decade. That's almost 300 months, man. That's almost like 5 million fucking seconds, 80,000 hours plus to get from my very first gym visit to where I am now. And guys, if you do anything consistently and with as much like vigor and intensity and fucking violence for that long, even you two can become great at it. It doesn't matter if you have the genetics. It doesn't really matter if you have the talent. As I said earlier on in this episode, if you have the work ethic, talent doesn't matter. I would much rather give away all my genetics to have the most disgusting, incomparable level of consistency and effort and work ethic, because that's the true number one muscle building hack here. I've seen so many guys, if you follow guys, on Instagram, or if you follow bodybuilding, so many guys don't have the quote unquote ideal genetics. Okay? They don't. Like Jay Cutler is a great example. 4-time Mr. Olympia, endomorph, big waist, blocky. Ended up winning 4 Mr. Olympias. How? Because that guy's a monster. In his prime, you couldn't stop him. That nigga went up fucking against Ronnie Coleman. Okay, and he took the torch from Ronnie Coleman. And you guys know who Ronnie Coleman is. You don't even have to Google that. You don't even have to be a bodybuilding fan to know who that guy is. And Ronnie Coleman is arguably one of the most genetically gifted bodybuilders on the surface of the planet. And here we got, this white guy out of nowhere who's pushing Ronnie Coleman out of his king's throne. Because why? It's not because he has the best genetics. It's because that motherfucker can work. Blood, sweat, tears, sacrifice, and time. Guys, sure, if we're comparing the greats, of course steroids do exist. Let's not deny that. But even there's no magic recipe. There's nothing that tops the number one muscle building hack, which is to have the work ethic of a fucking dog and to show up like the fucking virus, to show up like the flu. You're just there. You're there early. You're there before everybody else, and you're there when everyone else leaves. They can't get rid of you. You're unexterminatable. Like, there's no magic pill. Hard work, consistency, and time will forever be the winning recipe. Without steroids or with steroids, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, the only hack more powerful than steroids is honestly work ethic and time. Which is why when Ronnie Coleman, with his genetics and steroids, put in work ethic and time, he became the 8-time Mr. Olympia, which is just ridiculous. But it goes to show you. There's no drug, supplement, or surgery that you can do that does what the winning recipe will do. Do you understand? That's all I want. All I want is for you guys to understand. All right, that's it. That's all. If you like this episode, please share it out with a friend. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on this podcast. Leave a review. Show your support. It really does go a long way. Again, wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. If you weren't listening, I don't know who would be. All right. I hope you guys and girls were able to enjoy a valuable experience today. Thank you so much for your precious time and attention. Let's embrace our inner meathead together. It's been nice chatting. Hope you like what today's topic was about. IFBB Pro Matt Brutale signing out. Boom. Podcast episodes recorded, people. I love it. This one's a really good one. I felt really good about it. Tyson, what's good, homie? Appreciate you, Tyson. He says, never mind. I lied. I learned something. Let's see what he said here. Yo, Chris, what's happening, bro? I see you, man. Shout out to everybody here. Tyson says, limited by genetic potential, but don't mean you shouldn't achieve the best physical form that you can. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Absolutely, bro. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Let's see here. Yeah, there's nothing really valuable on TikTok to really chime into because everyone's kind of not there mentally. Okay, so that is it. That is all, guys. Hope you guys have a wicked start to your week. Be back again tomorrow with another episode of the Meathead of the Mic podcast. Outside of that, we're out, yo. Peace.